So today is my birthday. I am 26 years old today, and I am so incredibly excited to talk about my favorite otomes from this past year. Now, if you don't know what otomes are, essentially they are choose-your-own-adventure books, but in video game form. Instead of like Encyclopedia Brown, you have Hot Demon that feasts on women's dreams. It's the same thing. These games are generally targeted at a female, older audience, and most of the time romance is like the main topic. And they can take place during any time or place depending on how the story is written. Some of these games stick to a very specific format where you pick your answers, and then based on how and when you pick those answers, you'll get a true, bad, or good end. Others will implement unique game mechanics to reconnect the player on top of the choose your own answers. Now that I've explained what otomes are, let's begin. First up is not a Japanese-made otome game. It is a visual novel, however, I won't have any other time to talk about this game other than now. So let's talk about Our Life, Beginnings, and Always. This visual novel's quirk is that there is one love interest. His name is Cove Holden, and it follows you, the main character, and Cove throughout your childhood, your teen years, and your adulthood, and the relationship you both share. Another great thing about this game is that the character customization is really in-depth. You can choose anything from your pronouns to how you dress, what you wear, headscarves, earrings, scars, freckles. The nice bonus is that there is an option for voiced names. So there's this huge list of names that if you choose them, Cove will actually say that name. The development team put so much love and care into the series that you can really tell that they worked really hard on it. I really like Cove. I think that he was written so sweet and kind. You can really feel that he's like in love with you. And this game has a damn vice grip on me. I don't even want to tell you the amount of times I've replayed this game to choose different options. I've called out of work to finish a playthrough that I started. Overall, I loved Our Life and I highly recommend it, and you can find it on Steam. Now the next game is probably my favorite otome that I've ever played, and I'm kind of mad at myself for taking so long to finally start this series. The story is really interesting and the characters are so well written that even my least favorite amongst them still has a lot of good qualities about him. And that game is Collar Malice. Collar Malice follows Ichika Hoshino, a Shibuya police officer who is pretty much a glorified customer service representative with a killer gun aim. Shibuya is currently under lockdown after threats of a terrorist attack from a group called Adonis, them conducting a plan called the X-Day Incidents. After certain events, a poisonous collar is put on Hoshino by Adonis. Then she meets Yanagi and his group of ex-police officers. It's their job to uncover the truth of the X-Day Incidents and save Hoshino's life. So outright, my favorite character in this series is Enomoto Mineo.
こりゃついに榎本峰夫様の出番みてえだな。
ひとまず
別にちょっと可愛いななんて思ってねえんだからな。世界が前に。ああ、星野マジ可愛い。本当に可愛い。超天使。3.1415926535897932384264264338327950.
I don't think it's a secret that I really like him. He matches like all of my type requirements. His hair is long, it's red, he's a little bit dumb, he's bad with women, he has this weird obsession with historical Japan. Also the fact that that eye patch of his is closet cosplay. I love him. I love him so much. Oh, also, he counts in pi when he's nervous. Like 3.14. My dream man. He actually might be my favorite otome lead of like all time. I bought so much merch of him. It's kind of ridiculous. When that Collar Malice movie comes out this year, I'm going to go ballistic. I am. I'm going ballistic. Besides Mineo, I also really like Yanagi. He is the like secret route that unlocks after you complete all of the previous routes. And because you play that route last, everything in the story just falls perfectly together. All the information that you gained in the previous routes come to a head here, and it's glorious. I would give Color Malice a perfect 10 out of 10. Here are not only my route rankings, but also my recommended soft route if you're going to play this game for the first time. I also did play Color Malice Unlimited, and I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but I will say that it was really, really good. I loved having more intimate scenes with the characters that I fell in love with, especially Mineo's stuff. He's 100 times more adorable in Unlimited. I also, of course, really like Yanagi's in Unlimited. I loved all of the CGs, but one of my favorite scenes in that game was Takeru's really inefficient and weird New York City trip. They have lunch in Times Square. Never have lunch in Times Square. Please, don't. It really was a good joke. It was supposed to be romantic, but I just couldn't stop thinking about how inefficient this trip was. They were going back and forth. I'm gonna get mad. The next Otome has a really interesting game mechanic, one that I haven't seen, ever. It's very unique to this game. It's called Love or Pretend, and you play a university student who is a screenwriter. You also have a mentor who is a well-established screenwriter. He gets to work under a director that your screenwriter mother once worked with. So when your mentor offers you a job as his assistant, you jump on that opportunity. From there, we meet your four main love interests, Yukito, Riku, Kazuma, and Harumi. Kazuma is a makeup artist, Riku is an actor, Yukito is a model, and Harumi is the director's son. Technically, there are 5 routes in this game. The 4 main ones, and then a secret one that unlocks when you do all 4. The love interest is your mentor. And I did not play his route. Personally, I never got any romantic vibes from him the entire time I was playing the game, nor did I ever think of him that way. Never got the vibe that we were anything more than that. However, the other routes in this game were so incredibly interesting and fun. Harumi ended up being my favorite route out of all of them. He is a closet otaku, and he is so cute. He's super passionate about mecha anime, and his cool and calm demeanor is there because he's nervous. Riku ended up being my second favorite. The Riku that we start off with in the game drastically changes throughout the series because he's obviously wearing a mask. He's more blunt and brutally honest. If I were to compare him to a well-established character, I would probably compare him to Alhaitham, in a sense that they are both manipulators to get what they want. In Riku's case, it's to quit being an actor, but in Alhaitham's case, it's I want to keep my lazy lifestyle. Riku resorts to fake dating while Alhaitham decides to start an entire country revolution. Oh, I totally forgot to say that the whole reason that this is called Love or Pretend is because each and every one of these routes, you're going to be fake dating them. It's the fake dating trope as an Otome. It's great. It's fantastic. And the last 2 routes are Yukito and Kazuma. Yukito, I thought he was really sweet. He is a model who just wants to be an actor. He wants to be taken more seriously. People label him as baby girl, and I 100% agree. It's as if you take Kaoru Hakaze, Kave, and Yukito and put them in the same room. You'd be legally required to call that the baby girl crit. Kazuma is the basic childhood friend to lovers, and while I did enjoy his route, because I played his route first and then the others, it quickly got out-competed. It felt bland compared to the others, considering that somehow he goes into a coma at one point. Yet his route is still the blandest of all of them. That doesn't mean that his route is bad, not by any means. It is quite enjoyable. All of these routes are. It's just that when you scale them to the others, his kind of falls in comparison. Like before, here is my ranking of the routes as well as my recommended soft route order. Finally, the last game that I want to talk about is Cupid Parasite. I am going to spend a little bit more time on Cupid Parasite, but that's because it is the most recent Otome that I finished. So you play as Lynette Mirror, who is the top bridal advisor at Cupid Corporation. Your job is to play matchmaker and find your clients forever matches. Literally playing Cupid. Except, Lynette is Cupid. She is the goddess Cupid, daughter of Venus and Mars. In an act of defiance against Mars, she descends to the human realm and decides to become the top bridal advisor of the human realm. She wants to learn how the humans matchmake so she can become a better Cupid. Now, the game takes place in Lost York. in what I assume the developers think the United States looks like. We have locations such as Lost York, Sillywood, Washington, and Baltimore. I think they nailed it. This game has 6 love interests, or parasites, and one is a secret route that unlocks after you finish the first 5. The secret route happens to be my favorite route, and I am mad that I can't talk about it. So all I'm going to say is that he is pathetic, and I love him. Anyway, let's meet our parasites. You will hate them. You will want to punch them in the first half. Especially Alan. Especially Alan. I cannot describe to you how angry I am that by Alan's route, I really liked him. It was funny to see him turn into Herbie Fully Loaded at one point, though. And that is all I'm going to say. First up, we have Ryuki F. Keisain. He is a Japanese fashion designer who comes from a family of fashion designers. And he is obsessed with beauty. He has synesthesia, which means that he is able to see the colors of people. So usually when you first meet him, the first words out of his mouth is going to be a hex code. And if that hex code is an ugly color, he will completely ignore your existence. There are many times in this series where Ryuki will ask Lynette if there is someone in front of him because all he sees is a gray blob. He is so vain. He is so vain. Next we have Shelby Snail, the CEO of Cupid Corp. His whole image of being a devoted CEO husband is a lie based on a misunderstanding. He's not married at all, and he is obsessed with being the best at everything. He believes that no woman will love him for him, so he has to have as much wealth and status as possible. That way his partner won't get bored with him. Next we have Gil Lovecraft, who gives me so much secondhand embarrassment in the common route. He is the first person that Lynette meets when she descends. Gil has to teach her everything about being a human. Because of that, over time, he's become devoted to Lynette. He refuses to move on, and he desperately wants Lynette to notice him. Lynette doesn't even know he has feelings for her. Like, he is convinced that she has rejected him, and she doesn't know anything. Gil's route is the turning point where you think that this game is somewhat normal into this is batshit crazy. I don't think people would believe me if I told them what happens in his and future routes, because it really is just that crazy. Next, we have Raoul Alkanite. He is a Sillywood actor, and he has absolutely no idea what romantic love is.
And all anyone will feel for me is sorry.
Ew, not anymore.
Your heart's desensitized, Jeff. You're like a machine that feels no love, just sex. You like the bootinator.
He is obsessed with mythology, though. And that is literally all he will talk about. If he talks about anything else, you will see him visibly get bored. And that is literally all I can say about Raul, or else I'm going into heavy spoilers about his route. I haven't recovered from his route. Finally, we have Alan Malville. He is a pillow salesman who is only interested in stealing other women when they're in love with someone else. He is infuriating in every single route excluding his own and the last secret route. And I'm mad that the game made me like him by the end. However, if I replayed this game, I would still hate him for every other route except his own in the secret route. I know that for a fact. And I am okay with that. This game has the best soundtrack that I've ever heard in an Otome game. Like, imagine if Persona made music for an Otome game. Each character had their own unique theme. And I would say that my favorite ones are Ryuki's and Alan's. However, I also really liked the battle track that would play when something of action happened. And I think that these tracks perfectly fit each character, and that becomes even more apparent after you finish their routes. Like, the overall vibe is perfect for each one. I give Cupid Parasite a 10 out of 10, a perfect 10 out of 10. And as usual, here is my ranking of the routes as well as my soft recommendation. And those are my favorite Otome games that I've played in the last couple of months. I played a lot more Otomes besides the ones that I listed. However, they were either fine and I'm neutral about them, or I didn't like them at all. Especially when compared to the ones that I actually ended up listing here. If you're curious about the Otome that I am playing right now, I just started it. I believe it's called Barricade Variable? And it comes with a fully voiced MC, which I think is really interesting. So I'm looking forward to how this game plays out. If you liked the video, please let me know. I really enjoyed talking about these games. I kind of want to make a video like this in the future. And so now I have to ask, have you played any Otomes recently? And if so, which one has been your favorite? Let me know in the comments because I am always looking for some new games to research. And I will see you next time. Bye!